Good afternoon. Welcome back to Near Post Flick On. So Ronaldo has put pen to paper and signed a new contract with Al Nassr. So I think that's probably one of the biggest contracts that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I mean, it's in football terms. I know when you look at other sports like basketball and American football, they tend to get quite huge contracts. But for a player that's 40 odd and still commanding that type of wage, you've got to take your hat off to Ronaldo. So he's basically signed a contract worth 178 million pounds, and that's annually. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, but you've got to give him credit. Why? Because he definitely puts the work in, and he definitely puts the hours in. You know, he puts the shift in. So you can't really argue against it. And to be fair as well, Ronaldo has a very strong brand. So he sells shirts. So you can kind of imagine and kind of understand why Al Nassr would, put up that type of money to acquire Ronaldo's services, even as at his age at the moment. It's a massive contract, and if you look at the breakdown as well, it's absolutely astonishing. I just can't believe it. But it means you still get to see Ronaldo playing at a decent level, I guess, a decent level, and he's still going strong. He's still going strong at this rate. He can play football till he's well into his 50s if he wanted to, because he keeps himself in that type of shape and he keeps himself in that type of condition. So it's a massive contract, and it shows you the belief that the clubs have in Ronaldo. It's a big contract. It's a massive contract. So it basically keeps him at the club till 2027. So it's only a 2-year contract. Imagine that, 178 million pounds annually, and that's just for 2 years. Some players don't get that in their lifetime, and Ronaldo still commands that. So, as I say, you've got to give credit to the guy. You've got to give credit to the guy. I don't know what Messi's contract's like, but for me, this one's it's massive. And he's played 77 games for them, and he scored 74 goals since 2023. So in 2 years, he's bagged 74 goals in 77 games. So you know that he's kept up a decent level of standard. So he's kind of maintained his standard. Yes, he didn't really go accordingly when he made his return back to Man United, but I don't even think that was a Ronaldo fault. I think that's more to do with Man United themselves as opposed to Ronaldo. Because since it's been to Al Nassr, you can argue that it's a lesser league, but at the end of the day, the man is still delivering. He's still scoring goals. 77 games, 74 goals. That's not a bad return. That's not a bad return. Don't matter where. Some players don't even score that in a Sunday league. Some players don't even score that in a Sunday league. But for the fact that he's doing it at a professional level, I think Ronaldo is worth every penny, and he deserves it. And again, sometimes footballers, again, they always play these games whereby they might put it out through social media or get their representative to say, create this false narrative that they're going to believe in a club or this other team's interested and whatnot, to try and kind of influence the club to I guess part with more money in contract negotiations. And yeah, he did come out a month ago or so to say that the chapter's over in Saudi Arabia, and he's going to be looking beyond to further his career in another league. And then lo and behold, they sign up they sign him up for 178 million for another 2 years. So I guess again, he's worth every penny. So you can't really argue against it. So as I say, Ronaldo is one of those players that has a very strong brand. So of course he can command huge amounts of revenue, huge amounts of money. And let's be honest, if Ronaldo came to your team, I don't care whether it's West Ham, Spurs, Arsenal, you will definitely do numbers. You move units. You definitely will sell shirts for sure. That's how strong his brand is. Now he can easily walk into the Premier League. He's done it many times before. He can easily walk into La Liga, MLS, Bundesliga, League On. It doesn't matter where Ronaldo goes, because Ronaldo, the brand, is at top tier when it comes to football. And I think, him kind of signing that deal with Al Nassr just shows that, they have the deepest pockets, if you like, and they can afford to part ways with 178 million for a player that's well in his 40s. But that's not us taking anything away from Ronaldo. Ronaldo is a great player, and as I say, he's still performing at the highest level. So kudos to Ronaldo on achieving that. It's a massive amounts of money. So when you look at when you look at the contract breakdown, that basically means he's making 14.8 million per month. That's a lot of money. Looking further in, that's 3.4 million pounds per week. 488,000 pounds per day. 488,000 pounds per day. That is crazy. Wow. And then that breaks down to 20,354 £357 per hour. Wow. And then that breaks down to 339 pounds 28 pence per minute, and that's 5 point per minute. Wow, so that breaks down to 5.65 per second. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I mean, those numbers are not astonishing. I mean, imagine walking home with 14.8 million pounds per month. Wow, that man don't need to play football anymore. He literally can just put his feet up, relax, enjoy the sun, sea and sangria, and yeah, it's amazing. But as I say, take nothing away from Ronaldo. It's a massive contract, and I think it's a massive statement for the Saudi league and for the Saudi brand as well. So yeah, congratulations to Ronaldo. Look forward to seeing him play and continue playing in the Saudi league. But for now, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.